How are we doing, folks? Welcome back. It's a bit of an impromptu vlog for me. Wasn't expecting to be able to do any filming this week. I thought it could be on night shifts all week, but we've had this nice sort of job come up. You joined me at 5 AM on Good Friday. So yeah, Bank Holiday Friday. Got a nice early start. We're off to Evesham. So hoping to be up there for around 10 o'clock. Just on my walk around checks. You can see the sun's just coming up behind me, so hopefully it's going to be a nice day. Done all my checks, done all my paperwork. We've got 21 pallets of spinach, I believe, which is going to one of our seasonal customers, so it looks like things are starting to pick up now. So yeah, everything's done, we're all set. Fridge is on and running, everything's cool, we're ready to roll. So let's move on out. Oh, no light. I'll move on out and I'll speak to you when we're back in the truck. Right, let's get this thing moving. Gotta pull right out and then do a bit of a swingy round so we don't clank the trailers next to us. Try not to hit my car. There we go. It's what time is it now? It's just before 5:30 now. Finally got everything sorted. We're back in the Mercedes Actros again. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, this will be one of the last runs in this truck before we start getting the new fleet in. So yeah, there's not a cloud in the sky at the moment. They were saying it was supposed to be cloudier Bank Holiday Friday, but from where I'm looking, it's looking pretty good. I think we've got 4 hours up there, but with Bank Holiday Friday, who knows. Let's get some heating on. I had the night heater on for 20 minutes, but it's still a little bit chilly in here. Let's give this windscreen a bit of a clean so that you can see, because it's a bit dirty. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to be able to do any truck vlogs this week, because I was supposed to be on night shifts all week. And then they phoned up and asked if I could do this little run. They cancelled one of my night runs on a Friday. So yeah, brilliant. I know it's still dark now, but we should be able to do some daytime filming, which would be good. Anyway, I'm going to continue with my cup of coffee, and I will let you join me in a little while. How you doing, guys? You join me now on the M5. It's about 7:30, and yeah, we got about another hour and a half to go. But yeah, one of the questions I get asked quite often is, should I become a HGV driver? Well, there's no definitive answer to that, and it all depends on your own situation. It's quite difficult to say, but if you can afford to do it and you're stuck in a job that you don't like, if you're in a, you know, I was going to name jobs then, but that's a bit harsh because a lot of people probably like them doing them jobs. But yeah, if you're in a mundane job that you hate doing, it's a grind to go in every day, you're doing the same thing in and out, 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, yeah, definitely do it. It's a lot of money to fork out, but there's not that many jobs where if you're coming from a, you know, an unskilled background like myself, I didn't go to college or university, I finished school and went straight out to work. There's not many professions where you can go like that into a potentially a £30,000 plus a year work, and I love it. It was the best thing that I ever done. I was a manager for a big international company, and it's the best thing that I ever done. My job was stressful, sat in an office 8 hours a day, and yeah, I just got to the point where I had enough. I got the money together. It costs about £3,000 in total to do your class 1 and your class 2 from start to finish. It cost me a little bit over £3,000, and that was including the CPC and everything. So yeah, I made sure I got the money up, and £3,000 might seem like a lot, but you know, most teenagers spend more than that on their first car nowadays. And yeah, you know, if you have to and you can afford to, get a bank loan, because you've got to work out that if you're going to see that money back once you've passed, then it's going to be a good investment. You know, you're always going to have that to drop back on. So yeah, I got the money together. It took me about 4 months from start to finish. 3 months. It took me 3 months from start to finish. It was 4 months between deciding I was going to do my HGV, starting my first HGV job. It was 4 months, and that was including doing the class 1 as well. So yeah, personally, I'm on slightly less per hour, but I've gone from doing 8 hours a day to 10, 12 hours a day, and so it evens itself out. This guy's letting me back in. Flicky indicators, thank you. So yeah, it evens itself out. I loved driving before. I loved going on road trips wherever I had to go and do something that involved driving long distance. I enjoyed it, so I knew that it was going to be for me. And yeah, you know, I come to work most days, I've got this changing scenery in front of me. Every day is different, even I'm on the same route most days. Every day is still different, the weather's different, the traffic's different, you're always seeing different things, and that's for me is the biggest issue. I struggle to stay in a job for more than 12 months because I get bored and I mean sort of being in the same building or the same room day in and day out. So that was always a big issue for me. And this is perfect. This doesn't feel like work. It's a bank holiday Friday, and if I had to work a bank holiday Friday in my old job, I'd be ripping my hair out. But it's fine. It's not work. It doesn't feel like work. You know, the only negative working on a bank holiday Friday is I could be doing something with the family, but then we'll do something when I have a day off during the week, when it's not so busy. Yeah, I couldn't think of doing a better job, really. It doesn't feel like I'm working. It doesn't, you know, since I've been driving for HGV, since I've passed my HGV test, I have not once woke up, you know, whether it's 4, 5, 6, 8 o'clock in the morning, and thought, you know what, I don't want to go to work. It's just not happened. It's lovely. The sun's almost peeking through the clouds over there. We've got lovely countryside to see all day, every day. You'll see a lot of people saying that they struggled for work or to find work once they passed their HGV. I didn't find it a problem at all. As soon as I passed my test, I updated my CV, I wrote a covering letter, and I sent it out to about 20 local companies. I had about, I think it was about 5 interviews, and I was offered 4 of them. So yeah, I just took which one I thought was going to be best for me, and that wasn't the highest paying one either. So it's all about trying to find that balance, because who wants to spend 12 hours a day doing a job they don't want to do? We're not on this planet very long, so spend it doing something that you want to do. And you know, if like me, you were thinking about doing your HGV, you go on all these Facebook pages, you go on all the trucking forums, you watch all the videos, and you see nothing but people who've been doing it for 30 years moaning and groaning and saying that the job's not what it used to be, and it's gone to the dogs, and blah 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 blah. Well, to be fair, the job is what you make of it. And going from a job that I was in to this job that I'm doing now is lovely. And what I do feel is a lot of people have been doing this job for 10, 20, 30 years. They've forgotten what it was like to do a crappy job. But you find, and I've read it so many times, that people have gone from trucking after doing it for 20, 30 years. 12 months later, they're back driving again. And that's because other jobs are pretty crappy. But yeah, ignore all the moaning and groaning that you see on Facebook and forums and everything, because it is what you make of it. You know, if you want to be happy, you'll be happy. If you want to be miserable, moan and groan, you will be miserable, and people will treat you it. You know, if you're a miserable sod and you rock up to where you're delivering and you're miserable and snappy, then you're going to get attitude back. All the places that I go to, I have no problem at all with anybody. Then no one's ever rude to me, no one's ever snappy with me, no one shouts at me. No problem at all. Greet them with a smile, you'll be greeted with a smile. Yeah, sometimes they might say you got to wait an hour because we got trucks in front of you. You know, we all want to get home, but don't give them an attitude for it. Say, yeah, no worries mate, I'm paid by the hour, I'll go and sit in the truck. I'll go and sit on Facebook and read all those miserable old farts on Facebook moaning about trucking. when I'm sat down being paid to look on Facebook. But it is what it is. People will moan at anything. The only thing I can say is it's the best thing that I've ever done. If you can afford to do it, do it. If you like driving, you'll love it. And another thing, if you're thinking about passing your test or getting into the industry, and you are struggling to be able to afford it, do not go down the broker route. You'll see these brokers with big flashy websites offering to do your class 1, your class 2 on finance. Well, it's going to cost you double the amount than what it would normally, although the finance is attractive, and I know that it seems like the only way you're going to be able to afford to do it is go down finance, but get a bank loan. A bank loan isn't going to charge you 50% APR, charge you double the amount than what it costs, because all these companies do is farm it out to a local company to you, and pay them half what they've charged you. That's all they do. And they offer these attractive finance packages to bring people in, and they guarantee you work after you've passed your test. Don't listen to it, it's all rubbish. Go down to your local HGV school, have a look around their trucks, talk to them, but please don't go down the broker route. I still see so many people on forums and on Facebook saying that they're doing their HGV on finance, and you know exactly what's going on, and you message them and you say, look, you do know that the route you've gone down is really expensive, and they've no idea. They've no idea because they've not done their homework. So really do some digging around on the internet, look for reviews of the company that you're going with, and make sure that you're spending all that money with a reputable company and not a broker. And the other thing that I get asked quite a lot is, do I go manual or auto? Now, I find this very divided. A lot of the old school drivers will say go manual because blah 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 blah, you'll get a job in a manual truck and you won't know how to drive it because all you've driven in is an auto, blah 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 blah. I hear it all the time. Excuse me, I've got a bit of cough and a sore throat, so yeah. And you'll hear people who have passed their test recently say, yeah, do it in auto. There's no reason not to do it in auto. It's one less thing to worry about. Why put one less thing in there to think about when it costs you 250 quid or whatever it was to do your test? You're putting another barrier in the way. You know, 90% of trucks that are on the road and that are driving nowadays that companies use are auto anyway. You will come across the odd manual, but they're not difficult to deal with if you drive a manual car. A lot of lorry drivers think that there's some sort of black art to a range changer with split shifts and slap over boxes and all the rest of it. But there isn't. If you've driven a manual car and you go for your first job and it's a manual truck with a 3/3 or a split shift range change, just get one of the other drivers to explain to you the positions and what best to pull away in if you're fully loaded and that sort of thing. A 5-minute run through is all you need. Passed my class 2 first, done that in an auto, and then I straight away done my class 1. I done them back to back, and that was purely to give me as many options as possible after I passed my test. Done them both back to back. Done my class 1 in an auto, done my class 2 in an auto, done my class 1 in an auto. So I hadn't driven a manual truck when I went to my first HGV job. I was given my, I spent a couple of months driving autos. They were all autos, and then the truck that I had was going in for a service, so I was given the spare. It was a manual Volvo, and yeah, that had a split shift and range change on it, and that was the first truck that I'd driven manual. One of the other guys gave me a brief rundown of, you know, you got first, second, third, fourth, you can split them using this button, and then you've got a range change as well, and this is what it does. Brilliant, lovely. Within 5 minutes of going down the road, it was fine. Yeah, I missed a couple of shifts now and again on that first day, but I loved it. It was a brilliant experience learning that manual gearbox. It made me feel like a proper trucker. But yeah, go auto. It's definitely worth, rather than having to fail because you missed a shift on your test, you got to fork out another £250, you got to wait another month before you can do your test again, or a couple of weeks, or however long their booking queue is. But yeah, pass it in an auto, learn and make your mistakes when you're on the job. You know, if you get with a good employer, they're not just going to chuck you in a manual and say, right, there you go, you know. And speak up. If you've not driven a manual before, speak up. They will quite happily tell you. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. You know, if you've got an opinion, let me know. You know, I know a lot of people disagree, and I tend to find that that's a lot of people who, you know, they might have failed because they missed a gear when they were doing a manual. And I think a lot of old school drivers are a little bit envious that you can pass your test now in an auto and drive a manual if you've got a manual car license. So yeah, I think there's a little bit of envy there. You know, and a lot of the old school drivers are a little bit, it winds them up a little bit that you can do it without having the hassle of worrying about your gears when they did. So yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think. That's my opinion. That's the route that I took. It's not caused me any problems. I passed my class 2 with, I think it was 2 minors. Passed my class 1 with no minors. Clean sheet on my class 1. And I put that down to being able to 100% concentrate on the road and my mirrors and my driving, rather than have to worry about the gears. It was a no-brainer for me. So yeah, passing them both as quickly as I did, definitely down to, or partly down to me having to, or partly my choice to drive and do my tests in autos. That's just what that's just a couple of points that I wanted to bring up because I've been asked a few times. We've passed Bristol. We are just coming up, it's not far off, 8 o'clock now, so we're about an hour away. I think we're going to get there nice and early, hopefully, if the Friday bank holiday traffic, Good Friday traffic, carries on playing ball.